The NBA draft lottery. Now we're going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about
questions.
We're going to talk about the winners and losers of the NBA draft lottery. And instead of just making it all one segment, let's talk about the teams that won first. Obviously, the Detroit Pistons. They won the draft lottery because they got the number one pick, which I think we're all expecting it to be Cade Cunningham.
They got one interview, and that's Cade.
I'd be surprised if it's anybody else because Cade Cunningham is a generational talent. But Tony Weaver, the GM, did say that they're going to think about trading the pick as well. They're going to look at every single available option. Obviously, I think that's cap. But what do you think about the Detroit Pistons drafting Cade Cunningham pretty much and getting that number one pick? What do you see for their future?
So, wait, you just going through every pick and we're just going to chop it up?
Not every pick, just the ones that I think are
all right.
the best.
Well, for starters, congratulations to Detroit. They're getting a generational talent. I think them saying they're going to trade is just for the noise and the public, for the media to get all excited. I think Cade is their guy, bringing in somebody who, like you said, I've watched him all season. He's generational. He's a winner. He's a guy that brings those intangibles at a young age into an organization. And he showed a lot of improvement this year. Coming into college, he wasn't great as a shooter. He showed the ability to shoot, off the dribble, and to be that go-to scorer. So I think getting him to re-jump a franchise that's been in need of a star like that, I think that's good for Detroit.
Oh, no, I'm so happy for Detroit, especially because they need something to put fans in those seats.
For.
Exactly. I mean, right now, the Pistons have been sorry. You look at Blake Griffin, who really didn't even give full-blown effort to the city of Detroit when he was there. Hadn't dunked in a year and a half of being there, even though he made an all-star squad with Detroit.
I think he put them on their back one year.
One year, he 100% did. He was an all-star that season. He was really good. But the year after, he basically quit on them. And then ever since, they've just been sorry. You look at their draft boards the last few years. They haven't drafted a player the last 4 years to average over 10 points, which is kind of crazy to think about. And now you get a guy in Cade Cunningham. That is, what more could you ask for if you're the Pistons? This is the perfect situation for them. And you just need fans in those seats. You need to give the fans something to root for, especially with a franchise that has a history that the Pistons do. So it should be very interesting to see what Cade does over in Detroit.
The Pistons finally did something worthwhile, finally had a successful season. Yes, they have been a 500 team for the past couple of years, but they have been that team that has been stuck in mediocrity. With Stan Van Gundy, they tried to win with Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond, and that didn't turn out well at all. They were the 8th seed at best. Cade Cunningham is a franchise-changing player. He averaged 26-4 in college, shot 44% from the field and 40% from three. He's a 6'8" point guard, and last year, not even last year, but to begin the season, if you were to ask me, do the Pistons need a point guard, I would have said no because they had Killian Hayes, but Killian Hayes had a really bad rookie year for a majority of reasons, but the fact is he didn't have a good rookie year. And Cade Cunningham is positionless. Now they have a good young core of Cade, Killian, Sadiq Bey, Jeremy Grant, Isaiah Stewart, Frank Jackson is there, who also was really good last year. Diallo,
Sakou
Doumbouya, yeah. They have some young talent, and people love to laugh at Detroit. And right now, I see a lot of jokes on NBA Twitter about how Cade Cunningham's career is over before it even started. But listen,
I don't think so.
That's foul.
Detroit right now, this offseason, they're not going to have a lot of cap space. But next year, they are going to have it because Blake Griffin's contract will finally be off the books and they won't have to pay him anymore. And they can sign some guys around Cade and really, really make this team. They can really fill out this team around Cade. A player like Cade, you give him talent, you're going to be a playoff team. That's how good I think he's going to be. And now I also think Dwayne Casey doesn't get enough credit for being
coach.
Really good at developing young players. Look at Toronto, Van Vliet, Siakam, OG, all developed under Dwayne Casey. Jonas Valanciunas, Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan was a project coming out of college. He developed into a really fine player. Kyle Lowry revived his career with Toronto. Dwayne Casey is a really good coach, and I can't wait to see what he does with Cade and with the young players on this roster.
Yeah, I agree. I think, I think Detroit is in need of a guy like Cade, to restart and re-jump the franchise. And like you said, they got Jeremy Grant. He's still a young, fine piece. He's a really good player. Sadiq Bey, he showed out last year. He was really good. They got guys like Isaiah Stewart who bloomed late. Killian Hayes, he dealt with a lot of injuries last year. I think he still is going to be a really good player. You know, he's still young. His IQ is very high. He just has to get it going. You know, so I think they have a lot of young talent. And like you said, getting Blake Griffin contract up next year. This year's free agency is weak anyways. So letting your guys develop for another year, then getting ready for that next free agency. Maybe you make a push with those young guys. Guys are going to look at Cade and be like, all right, this is a young guy I maybe want to play for. You get some good, proven, maybe low-tier all-stars or high-caliber players in there, and then you get yourself back in the picture. You know, Detroit is in need of that. It's a great city. Detroit has a long history of being a great team, and they need a guy like Cade to definitely fulfill that role.
The great thing about free agency classes that have star talent at the top is that a lot of those mid-tier guys get forgotten about.
Yep.
And now it allows teams like Detroit to scoop them up for a lower price.
Yep.
Free agent classes like what we're about to have this
It's
offseason
the
with DeMar
overpay
DeRozan, they're going to get overpaid. Lowry's going to get overpaid. All these guys will get overpaid because they're at the top of the class. So it's good that the Pistons are passing on this free agency, and they're going to have money next year.
Overpay period.
No, for sure. I mean, you guys mentioned it all. I mean, I'm not going to say that the Pistons' time is next year, and I'm not saying that you guys are saying that either, obviously. I think this is a project for a 4 or 5 year period. You get a guy like Cade. Now this is where you guys where the Pistons should actually start to trend towards trying to make the playoffs. But no, for sure, you guys named Sadiq Bey for sure. Killian Hayes, we'll see how that works out. He definitely was injured a good portion of the season. He's young, so I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Doumbouya, right?
Yes.
Doumbouya
was firm. I just look at this draft history and it makes me kind of sad. They drafted Spencer Dinwiddie, traded him away. Drafted Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, traded him away. Luke Kennard, they let him walk. Bruce Brown, we see what he's doing over in Brooklyn. It's just they haven't caught a break, and this is the first time they finally catch one, and they hit a home run with this one.